I mean, I loved the art court, the vibrancy, the color of it, the events that happened around it and brought it there. I'm Ann Zadeh, and I'm a former city councilwoman for the city of Fort Worth, serving District 9, in which this art court project was done during the time that I was serving in office. And now I work for a nonprofit, and we educate and advocate around urban planning issues. So I continue to be involved in community activities. Yeah, when it comes to the stewardship of art that is done in the public realm, there's different entities that do that. And the city of Fort Worth has a public art program that is attached to bond dollars, and therefore they have to have a maintenance program for that public art. So there is some intentionality around the official public art program that the city of Fort Worth has, where those pieces of art have to last for like 20 years. They have to be maintained. They have to be made out of materials that are able to last a long, long time. And they have to go in specific places. But I also think it's important to think about the sustainability of any art that people do in the public realm that is for the public, because the public gets attached to things that are done for the community and with the community. And so often murals are just paint, and sometimes they have a covering on them that helps with longevity, and sometimes they don't. And so when they are left to fade, you end up getting people complaining about that because it means something to the community. There's, they claim it and they want it to be maintained. So I think it's really important to have structure and intentionality around maintaining any kind of public art project. I mean, I think that through the city, there's definite structures and avenues for that to happen. There can be public-private partnerships for that. There's dollars put aside, and when a piece of art gets damaged, then that program comes in and repairs it. When you're talking about things that people do, with the collaboration of a property owner on the side of a building or in a public park like the art court was, I think that the city does need to be more intentional and have a program set up through the graffiti abatement, which is where this was done. And they have the new palette program where I think they are kind of keeping track of that and trying to maintain things going forward. But yeah, it would have to be, if the city's involved, it would have to be through their processes. Yeah, I mean, I think that the city does claim to be a world-class art city because we have these world-class museums. I think over the years that I've been more involved in an official role, we've tried to be more intentional about funding and supporting the arts outside of those world-class institutions. But to the sustainability part and the maintaining part and the structure for that, I think there's still work to be done. I think that people have the desire to do that. And whether or not the city itself funds that is still something to be worked on. Because I think a lot of people think that cities should not be doing the fluffy stuff that has to do with art and that kind of stuff, and that should be done on the private sector side. But I see a place for a city to have like an arts and culture focus and department to maintain and help support that because they benefit from it being here in the community. Yeah, I think that they see it as an extra, a nice to have, versus something that the government should be putting into their funding regularly. They do fund the public art program through the bond program, and they do put some money towards visitors, convention and visitors bureau type of stuff, and that does fund some arts as well. I believe that the museums get some funding through Arts Fort Worth, which is also funded through the city. So there is some, but some cities have their own standalone culture and arts department, like you mentioned, and some do it. Ours does it kind of through the library. And so our new library director does have a background in doing that in another community. And so I have hope that there is a desire to move in that direction with enough people who are passionate about supporting the arts in a more robust way, that is something we could see in the future. I was gifted one of these, even though I didn't come and play basketball. I just came and cheered everybody on. But Blue Zones was a part of all of that. Talking about sustainability, we did some really great work with Blue Zones, and that's something that hasn't been necessarily maintained from the city side. So I think these are just all things to keep in mind and memory so that we can do better going forward.